You've probably said this before. I'm better than him. Maybe you've thought it while sitting on the bench. Maybe you've watched another player start ahead of you and wondered what your coach was seeing that you weren't, because from your perspective, it makes no sense. You're faster, more technical, you score more goals in training, you win more 1v1s, yet somehow, when the team sheet comes out, your name isn't where you think it should be. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your coach might know you're talented. The problem is that talent isn't what he's looking for. Because when coaches decide who they trust, they're not asking, who's the most skilled player? They're asking, who helps me win football matches? And those are not always the same person. Today, I'm going to show you the real reason coaches keep ignoring certain players, and it's probably not what you think. Because once you understand this, you'll stop trying to impress your coach and start becoming impossible to ignore. Most players think selection is a football skill competition. It's not. It's a trust competition. Imagine two midfielders. Player A can pull off incredible passes. Player A has highlights. Player A occasionally looks like the best player on the pitch, but he also disappears for 20 minutes, stops tracking runners, forces risky plays in dangerous areas, makes decisions based on what looks impressive. Now imagine player B, nothing flashy, rarely spectacular, but every time he plays, the team functions better. He scans constantly, makes the right decision, maintains shape, communicates, protects possession, helps teammates. If you're the coach, who do you choose? Most players answer this question emotionally. Most coaches answer it practically. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. Because football isn't about proving how much you can do. It's about proving what can be trusted. Here's the deeper problem. Most players judge themselves based on their best moments. Coaches judge players based on their worst moments. Think about that. You remember the assist, the dribble, the goal, the amazing training session. Your coach remembers the mistakes that hurt the team, the missed defensive assignment, the unnecessary turnover, the player you failed to track, the moment you switched off. This is why players constantly overestimate how reliable they appear. They're watching their highlights. The coach is watching patterns, and trust is built through patterns, not moments. If a coach knows exactly what he's going to get from you every match, you're already ahead of a lot of more talented players because reliability reduces uncertainty, and coaches hate uncertainty. Now let's talk about the 4 things that actually build trust. Lesson 1. Coaches trust players who make their teammates better. Most players are trying to prove themselves. Trusted players help everyone else perform better. This is one of the biggest differences between youth football and higher levels. At younger ages, players think football is about showing what they can do. At higher levels, football becomes about helping the team function. Watch a trusted midfielder. Notice how often he creates passing options. Notice how often he supports teammates. Notice how often he solves problems before they happen. These actions rarely appear in highlight videos, but coaches notice every single one. A winger who consistently creates space for others may be more valuable than a winger who scores one brilliant goal every 5 games. A striker who presses intelligently may be more valuable than one who only contributes when he has the ball. Ask yourself, when your teammates are struggling, do you make their job easier or harder? Because coaches notice players who improve the entire team. Those players become difficult to replace. Lesson 2. Your decisions matter more than your skills. This is where many talented players lose their coach's trust. They focus on execution. Coaches focus on decision-making. Imagine 2 players. One completes a difficult pass, the other chooses a smarter pass. Most players celebrate the difficult pass. Most coaches prefer the smarter one because football isn't a talent contest. It's a decision-making game. The best players aren't constantly proving how much skill they have. They're constantly choosing the best option available. A coach watches your decisions and asks, can I trust this player when the game becomes chaotic? Can I trust him when we're protecting a lead? Can I trust him when we're under pressure? Can I trust him in important moments? Every unnecessary risk answers those questions. Every intelligent decision answers them too. And over time, those answers become your reputation. Lesson 3. Coaches notice what you do without the ball. This is where many players become invisible. They think football only starts when they receive possession. The coach knows football starts before that. Let's say you touch the ball 40 times in a match. That means there are thousands of seconds where you're not touching it. What are you doing during those moments? Are you scanning, creating passing lanes, tracking runners, pressing intelligently, communicating, adjusting your positioning? Or are you standing still, waiting for the game to come to you? Many players want more opportunities, but opportunities usually go to players who create them. The coach sees every movement, every reaction, every recovery run, every moment of effort, even when the crowd doesn't. One reason trusted players get selected repeatedly is because they contribute constantly, even when they're not directly involved. Football is not measured only by touches, it's measured by influence. Lesson 4. Emotional control creates trust. This one is rarely discussed, but coaches value it massively. Because football is emotional. Mistakes happen. Bad refereeing decisions happen. Teammates make errors. Games become frustrating. Pressure increases. And under pressure, players reveal who they really are. Some players lose focus after one mistake. Some stop communicating. Some become negative. Some hide from the ball. Coaches see all of it. Trusted players recover quickly. They don't need perfect conditions to perform. They don't need confidence to keep working. They don't need everything to go their way. They stay useful even when things aren't going well. And that's incredibly valuable because matches are rarely perfect. The player who stays composed when others lose control becomes someone a coach can rely on. So how do you actually become a player your coach trusts? Start with this simple challenge. For your next match, stop trying to impress anyone. Instead, focus on these 5 questions. Question 1, did I help my teammates? Question 2, did I make smart decisions consistently? Question 3, did I contribute when I didn't have the ball? Question 4, did I respond well to mistakes? Question 5, if I were the coach, would I trust myself? That's the real test. After every match, evaluate yourself using those questions. Not goals, not assists, not highlights. Trust indicators, because those are the things coaches are evaluating. Here's another exercise. Watch your next match recording. Don't watch the ball. Watch yourself. Only yourself. Pay attention to what happens when you're not involved. Most players discover their biggest weaknesses during those moments, and those weaknesses are often exactly why coaches hesitate to trust them. The truth is, trust isn't earned through one amazing performance. It's earned through dozens of small actions repeated over time. Every scan, every recovery run, every smart decision, every moment of discipline. Those actions accumulate. Eventually, the coach stops wondering whether he can trust you. He assumes he can, and that's when everything changes. The biggest mistake players make is believing they need to become more talented. Sometimes they do, but often that's not the real problem. The real problem is that they're trying to be impressive instead of dependable. They want to look like the best player, instead of becoming the player a coach wants on the field when the game is close. The funny thing is this. Once you become trustworthy, your talent starts getting more opportunities to shine. You get more minutes, more responsibility, more touches, more chances, more freedom. Trust unlocks opportunity, and opportunity reveals ability. So stop asking, why isn't my coach noticing me? Start asking, what would make me impossible to ignore? Because the players who earn trust aren't usually the loudest. They aren't always the most gifted, but they become the players coaches rely on. And in football, being relied on is one of the most valuable things you can become. If this video changed the way you think about football, subscribe for more content focused on the hidden reasons players get stuck and how to become the player everyone notices for the right reasons. I'll see you in the next one.